Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a minute, huh? All right, been busy, but I'm here with another presentation. So, if you're an auto dealership, and let's say you have a specialization in one manufacturer, you just sell Fords or GMs, okay? Once in a while, you'll get the vehicle that is not, from your manufacturer. And when you need to program it, you do what a lot of people do is you send it to another dealer. Okay, this is a very common scenario. And what I want to do is show you that there's a better way to do this. And I just want to address some misconceptions that you might have that will allow you to stop with this leakage of cash flow in your auto dealership, okay? So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into it, you guys. Today we're going to talk about why your dealership should stop outsourcing programming services, okay? If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Curtis Hardin. I'm an independent Autel diagnostic consultant. So what I do is I align people with the right tool strategy, and then when I sell them the tool, I render the support that you see in this presentation. So if you want to get on the right track, head on over to auteltech.co.za. Okay, so what we're going to be covering today is the following: the true cost of outsourcing, overcoming the misconceptions surrounding programming costs, a couple client success studies, and a strategic implementation of an in-house programming advisor. Okay, now when I see a car towed to another dealership, okay, and hopefully you feel this way too, it should feel like your hard working cash is taking a joyride out of town and you're not included, okay, without you. It's doing it without you. And it's the moment you realize that you're making someone else rich that should eat you up, okay? Now, too often I've noticed that when a vehicle that is not, that's different from the ones that you sell, you send it to the dealer, okay? And that burns me up. It burns me up inside. So what I want to do is just unravel these misconceptions and walk you through a logical process on why you need to stop this immediately, okay? So let's look at the current process. So what typically happens is you replace the transmission, and you obviously can't do it because it's a different vehicle that you guys normally service. So we have a programming event, okay? The next thing we got to do is tow it to the dealership, okay? That's going to incur some costs. And then there's a waiting period. So I've seen worst case 3 weeks. If you have, if you're close to a dealer, have a good relationship with them, maybe in a couple days. And then there's the dealership fees, okay? And they vary by region, but most of the time the dealerships are expensive, okay? And then there's the vehicle return process. So this basically means, like, let's say the car is ready for collection. You send 2 employees to pick up the vehicle. One will be dropped off. The other guys will go back and you'll take the car back. Or let's say there was a situation where the vehicle, it wasn't fixed at the dealer. Maybe the cost to fix it was too much. Then you have to get it towed back, okay? So these are all costs. So speaking of hidden costs, let's dive into this thing because I don't think we've actually done this. So when I assess a client, I look at their total financial exposure and their challenges and obstacles. So if we take a dealership profile, one obstacle would be just like the towing dependency, okay? The risk involved in this is obviously, there's fees involved, but the downtime while the vehicles are off-site impacts sales readiness and ties up inventory, potentially resulting in missed sales opportunities, okay? And let's just say a modder's price is $100. You get this done 4 times a month, it's at $400. You're looking at 4,800 USD for the year, okay? Another challenge or obstacle is dealer scheduling dependency. So, vehicles are delayed due to the reliance on dealer availability. leading to inventory backlog and potential loss of sales. Okay, so let's say the dealer at minimum wants $200 to do their programming. This happens 4 times a month. We're at $800, and our total cost would be $9,600 US. Okay, and then there's the last one, incomplete diagnosis and additional repair. So let's just say, for example, the original diagnosis, there's an underlying condition and there's an incomplete repair. You don't want them to do it, so you have to get the car towed back to your facility. You got to figure out what the problem is, and then that's an extra cost. So with the towing, back and forth, and the diagnostic fee at the dealer, you're probably looking at $520 for that event per month. Let's just say it's happening once a month. You're looking at $6,240. Okay, so if we add all of this up, we're going to be getting $20,640 US. That's how much is leaking out of your business. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. And these incomplete diagnosis, I'm sure they happen a lot, and we can take a look. This is a invoice from BMW. What happened was this customer tried to program a I think it was an FRM module, and these are very finicky, okay, when it comes to, I guess, the Autel software. And he wasn't sure if the module was faulty or not. He didn't have enough experience, so he sent it to the dealer for them to diagnose it, and they came back with a whopping bill for the diagnosis, $520, okay? And they said that he needs to install another FRM, and he needs to get it programmed by their computers and all the other modules. Okay, so that's going to cost him an arm and a leg, and he had to send that back on a tow truck to get it fixed. Now, luckily, he has someone like myself that can, taught him how to restore these with a few clicks of a button with his tool. But I mean, a lot of people don't have that convenience. Okay. So we can all agree doing this is, you're wasting money. Time is money. That's just money. Every time you make this conscious decision to do this, it's money wasted on the ground, okay? So let me address some of these misconceptions on programming that you guys might have. So one is that, I might corrupt the module, okay? What I'll tell you is you probably have a higher risk of getting into like a car accident than bricking a module. Okay, if you follow the manufacturer's steps, and if you know the right framework, and if you have someone like myself who can help you mitigate those risks, okay, you have no fear to worry about. Okay, and in life, you guys, everything you have to take some level of risk. Okay, you have to assess the risk. But after a while, you'll notice that doing programming, it's really just pressing some buttons. All right, for me, there's no emotion involved. And what I can tell you is that that's how I got started. My first programming event was, I think, Volvo. It took me like 5 hours to download, and I'm glad I did it because everything else was easy after that, and I learned a lot. So yeah, it's not something that you should be worried about if you follow the proper framework. Okay. The next misconception is each manufacturer is too expensive. Okay, so let's be logical here. Okay, if the example I gave you guys, the cost to outsource was like $26,000. Okay, let's just say I told you to buy every manufacturer's yearly subscription and OEM tool, and let's say it's more or less the same price. Okay, which let's say dealership, this one's outsourcing, this one got all the equipment, which one do you think would be the most expensive? Okay, it'll be the second one that's outsourcing. You know why? Because each manufacturer that the other one invested in, that's just like a pipeline of new revenue, potential new revenue. If they have the ability to program for Jaguar or Land Rover, they can charge a lot of money doing that. Okay. The good news is you don't have to purchase yearly subscriptions. You purchase day subscriptions and you just charge an amount that makes it worth your time. And it varies between different markets, and I can help you with your pricing model. Okay, because I call it value-based pricing. If you can, for example, if you have a dealerships that are like 60 miles away, you shouldn't be charging $250. You can charge a little bit more. Okay, so it's not too expensive. All right. Another misconception is I do programming already, at the dealership, and I learned to do it myself for other manufacturers. Okay, yes, you have an advantage that you have some programming, but you have two obstacles. First, the obstacle is for the aftermarket, the approach is completely different. Okay, and third, each manufacturer has a different approach on how you install their software. So if you have a lot of time to fiddle around with that, if your boss doesn't mind, then that's something you could do, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's not worth it. Like the learning curve is really too steep. The manufacturers, they don't make these websites where it's like a video game, all right, where you just click a button and download. It's not like that. All right, it looks like Bill Gates got like ChatGPT to make it or something, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay, and I can tell you from my experience, I'll get people who worked at dealerships, they attempted to install the program. When I look in their laptop, they got drivers, aftermarket, dealership, and it's just a hot mess. So I wouldn't recommend taking this route alone. You're more than happy to do it, but your learning curve is going to be a bit steeper. Okay, so let's jump into some real life case studies. This is from Southeastern Automotive Group. Okay, they're from Georgia, and their technician has been working with them for a couple of years now, but we go way back. And he has the MaxiSys Ultra, and when he saw that they were outsourcing stuff, he asked me, Kurt, I watch your videos and I can see that you teach programming. Can you help us with this? And I said, yeah. And I gave him a strategy, which manufacturers to start. And sure enough, as soon as we started to do that, we do like two a month, 2 or 3 a month. Okay. So here's a case study. 2018 Audi A3. My client replaced a used valve body, and after installing the ECU was reporting a P170100, which is TCM locked. Okay, and then he attempted to do relearning with the Autel, but it still failed. Okay, so he wanted my assistance to install and program with the Otis programming software. So this is Volkswagen and Audi's official programming software. Okay, so as you can see here, we have it pulled up, and what I'll tell you is this: the Volkswagen, it's not something that I would recommend starting off if you want to do it yourself. Okay, because it's quite complex. However, that's something that I do with my eyes closed. Okay, this error code here basically is caused by a block in unauthorized access. All right, the system knows that you have a used module in there, and in order to get this TCM unlocked, it needs some type of authorization, which involves adapting the immobilizer system. Okay, and that's what we're gonna do. So let me see if I can fast forward this here. I need to go to the guided functions application. Okay, control unit, I'm gonna hit guided functions, and then I'm going to scroll down to where it says replace mechatronic control module. Okay, and then once I select that, I'm gonna click run. And then I'm going to follow the prompts. Okay. Okay, so following steps will be performed for this test. It's going to do all these read event memory, control module replacing, which control unit is installed. Okay, so if you have the original one, you can put number 1. If you have the new one, you can put number 2. In our case, we just stuck with number 1, and it's going to ask you when to install the other module, but it all worked out at the end of the day. Okay. Okay, so switch the ignition on. Okay, check whether is an SVM code reference in ordering system parts. So SVM is just a unique code used by Volkswagen and Audi to identify and track software versions on the control module. And it's essential for correct updates and make sure nothing malfunctions. Okay, so I don't have this code, so I'm gonna click number 1. Okay, just give me a second before I do that. And let's see, so we click number 1, up, give it a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, switch the ignition off, replace the control, the mechatronic. Okay, and this is where you would do it. And in the next step, the immobilizer is going to be adapted. Okay, so this is used to service the immobilizer. A vehicle key must be available for this section. Okay, so we're going to have our dealer key. Okay, and this software doesn't work with aftermarket keys. It only works with dealer keys. And then we're going to follow the prompts. Turn on the emergency flasher. We're going to click finish next. And then after we do that, it's going to tell us to hold the key near the transponder coil. And there's going to be another prompt that I can't show you because my client's Wi-Fi was acting up. But long story short, you guys, he was able to start the car through this process. Okay, never programmed before, but I was able to walk him through it. Okay, so what are the benefits? Okay, so cost savings. Used valve body installation was sidestepping high costs of new parts and labor. Okay, the dealership independence. Cut the cord on external dealerships with self-managed repairs, ensuring flexibility. And technical enablement. Boosted in-house skills with specialized software for more ambitious fixes. This tech at this shop, if he wanted to, he could leave that place. Okay, because no one else is able to do that. Like when I'm on the phone with him, it's just me and him. No one else really knows what's going on. He's just getting results, and he knows this, and I tell him this. Okay, but it's powerful. It's very powerful when you're able to have this much leverage with your tool. Okay, next step is the client case study number 2. Okay, so he was working on a 2020 Dodge Durango and reprogramming the ABS module due to configuration error, and he got this diagnostic code C2206 in the ABS. Okay, the client believed the ABS module needed to be replaced and reprogrammed, but what I like to do is reduce cost, and I want to investigate by VIN number what this DTC meant and how we can approach it. Okay, so the first thing I did was he sent me this picture, and the one that I was concerned was this vehicle configuration mismatch. Okay, which was the C2206 error code. And looking at the workflow, I was looking at the possible causes, and it could be the ABS module just wasn't initialized, or the ABS module itself. So I went to the diagnostic procedure, ABS module initialization. It's always good to check your service bulletins, and next it's going to tell us to do the ABS initialization under the miscellaneous functions. Okay. Worst case scenario, if a DTCs still remain, we're going to replace the module. So I'm thinking ahead. Okay, let's just say, for example, this thing is faulty. What's the next step? Does it need to be programmed? Does it need to be coded? Does it need to be both? So after investigation, this is a simple coding procedure. So coding is not dealing with software. You're just clicking some buttons to get that module configured. Okay, so what I did was I have my strategy laid out. All right, and this is what I did. First, I need to check on for the client if his MaxSys Ultra has this option on there. Okay, and just because I always tell people, just because you see a module done online doesn't mean it will be for every vehicle. I always check vehicles by VIN. Okay. Next is the installation procedure. Assess if the ABS module requires programming or coding. Okay, and we did that already. Okay, we did that already. And then next is the client resource evaluation. Okay, check for the existing Autel account to use on the MaxSys Ultra. Okay, I need to check if he has an Autel account. And Autel, you guys should know this, but it's just a middleman that will allow an aftermarket to you pay a fee and you can bypass their security gateway modules through the OBD port. Okay, and then the alternative solution, if that doesn't work, is to consider Chrysler's YTech software as a backup, which I don't like to use because it's $135. It's expensive, and you know it takes some time to get service ready. Okay, so next is the implementation. So I said, hey Dave, it'll be cheaper to use the Autel Pivot $50. You can do the initialization with under the special functions. I said, if you don't want to use Autel, we can use the YTech for $135. So logically, you're going to use the cheaper option. So he said, how much is the for Autel? And I showed him. He said, okay, I signed up, did the procedure, and the original control unit has no faults. Okay, thanks so much for your help. Okay, so what was his result and benefits? Sales acceleration, fixed the car fast. Okay, the cars can get turned around a lot quicker, boosting profits and stock flow. Okay, cost avoidance, avoided purchasing a new ABS module and saved on potential subscription fees with YTech, representing a significant direct cost savings. Okay, and then we have operational independence, gain in-house skills, and he cuts the cord on outside help and amped up his service trust. Okay, so this guy's killing it, man. So what is the solution? Okay, so the first thing starts with you as the owner. You need to eliminate your limiting beliefs. Okay, all that stuff that you had in your mind before about programming, you need to throw it away. Okay, times have changed and your mindset needs to be changed, and the only way you're going to make this change, it has to start up here. Okay, the second thing is you need a diagnostic tool strategy. Okay, this is critical. Okay, and I'll give you a prime example. Let's just say that you purchased your tool, you got inspired from my video, you purchased the tool, and you got this device, okay, or maybe even the Ultra, okay, and then you're getting some results with it. But what about if we compare this to another person who got a consultation, and when I diagnose his problems, I find out that he's getting a lot of Mercedes, and he told me that, yeah, I'm outsourcing Mercedes. The TCMs are faulty, and all these other modules are faulty. You have to send it to the dealer. I'll say, okay, you know what? You don't have to do it anymore. Let me get you a versionization kit for this. I'll throw it in your kit for free, and that way you can solve that problem. Okay. In fact, we can take it a step further where people can send you their modules, and you can versionize them and send it back to them, and you get paid without ever having to see them. Okay. And then if they say, oh, I'm getting a lot of Forge, I need, programming, I'll throw in a programming session. Okay, so I'm telling you, the consultations will only benefit you guys, and this has, if you do the comparison, the person who invested in themselves has a more higher chances of profitability and success. Okay, the third thing is you need a strategic programming advisor. Okay, so this is someone like myself that's kind of like a secret weapon. I'm going to make a department within your auto repair shop, and I'll be able to consult you on how to do specific things like, can we install a use module? Can I write a VIN to this one? Can you help me install the, whatever software? I'll be able to do for you, and you guys can just stay focused and just follow my tutelage. If I tell you to click this button, you click it, and you learn that way. You learn as you earn. Okay? Now, the benefit of having an advisor are the following. So you get in-house training and development. Okay, so I facilitate ongoing training and professional development, helping technicians stay up to date with the latest automotive technology. Okay, this is critical because even me, I'm always learning new stuff, and whatever I learn, I can pass on to my clients. I can tell you, hey, you know what? I don't think you should be using this tool for that module, and it could save you a lot of headache. Okay. Revenue expansion. Open up a new revenue streams by offering advanced programming services that help dealerships that was previously unable to provide. Okay. When you get your first programming event, it's going to open a whole new can of worms. Okay. And I can tell you what markets are profitable. And once we specialize in that market, you're going to transform basically. You're going to completely transform your service deliverables, and it's going to help you make more money. Okay. And lastly, the cost from, towing, dealership fees, and all that other stuff. Okay. You don't have to, you'll save that $24,000. You'll probably make that much, if not even more. Okay. And I always like to tell people this, okay? Because some people, I don't think they're thinking through this what I'm proposing, okay? If I went to your guys' dealership, knocked on your door, gave you my resume, and you can see that I have like 15 years of like programming experience, okay? You hire me. When you get this car in your shop, are you gonna come and say, you know what? I think it's a good idea we still outsource this? That's not logical. Why would you do that? Why would you have me sit there with a computer and everything at hand ready for me to program, and you're going to come to me and say, I think we should outsource this? Okay? There's no logical explanation why you should be doing that. And the reason why I'm framing it that way is because when I become your advisor, if I sell you a tool, I'm kind of like a growth partner in your company. Okay, but you're not paying me a salary. You're not paying me a salary. So think of it that way. Okay, I'm helping you guys utilize your tools to its maximum capability. All right. So how do you get started? Well, if you don't have a tool, go to my website, auteltech.co.za, book the application or fill in the application, and you're going to book the diagnostic tool consultation service. Make an appointment, I'll call you up, and then I'll run my framework to give you a unique, tailored solution based on the problems that we discover. All right. Then if you already have a tool, okay, and let's say you have a programming event that you need help, you can go through the same process, but this time you're going to book the J2534 training. When you fill in the application, you can tell me what vehicle you're working on, and on average, the American and Asian, I charge $200 per manufacturer. For the European, I charge $300 because they're a bit more complicated to install. Okay, or you could do it yourself. Okay, but when you do that, okay, you're gonna get situations that, if you don't have any access to somebody that can give you some reasoning on why it's doing that, you're going to hit what I call a wisdom wall. Okay? And what I'll tell you guys is this. There's different levels of support. Okay? Meaning, if you call like a tech support guy, whoever it may be, whoever's responsible for your tool, if they don't take the effort to actually log in your device when you have one of these error codes and run a framework to verify what the root cause is, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. And just because they are an official, you know, ambassador or whatever, official authorized dealer, doesn't mean anything in this industry. Doesn't mean anything. Okay? What I can guarantee is I have a whole framework that I run, and I can guarantee that you'll at least leave with understanding. So we can verify if it's a glitch in the software, if it's a glitch on their end, if it's a hardware issue with your tool, maybe there's a patch that wasn't done, maybe there's an underlying condition on the car. Okay? We'll be able to get to the root problem. So that's what I'm saying. These events, for me, they're not worth it. They're not worth the headache. Okay? So with that, in summary, you guys, what I'll tell you is question outsourcing. Evaluate the logic and costs of you outsourcing when you can, do it in-house. Okay? Then embrace change, overcome limiting beliefs, unlock your dealership's full potential. Okay? And then customize, get a custom tool strategy. Develop a tailored toolkit strategy for your specific needs and avoid unnecessary expenses. And lastly, invest in expertise. Okay? Utilize the strategic programming advisor to enhance your in-house capabilities. Okay? I can help you guys if you have a tool, and there's long-term programs that will, make you guys be the first when it comes to mind in terms of programming. Okay? So with that, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. As I said, it's been a while, but it's good to be back. If you like the video, you can show some support. And with that, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care. Bye.